Hey family, welcome back to another episode with MOODMUSIC Collective. I'm your MC, Natasha. It's great to be with you this evening. So for our inaugural video, I wanted to talk about mood music or music and mood. So this is the first course that I'm offering through MOODMUSIC Collective. I'm really excited to share this project with you guys. Just a little bit about me, just to introduce myself. So I'm Natasha. I live in San Antonio, Texas. I studied musicology in grad school, and I've been a musician for many years. I love singing. I played bassoon. I play piano. I'm really passionate about music and spreading musical joy. And so I hope that this is a place where you can feel encouraged to make your own music. And yeah, let's get on with the topic for today. So music and mood. So to first talk about music and mood, let's talk about what is a mood. So a mood is an emotional state of mind or feeling, a dominant attitude or spirit. And so mood, when we're talking about mood, it's different than just a feeling, because feelings, they come and go pretty quickly. But mood, as the definition states, is a dominant attitude or spirit. And so really we can think of mood as part of our identity. It's kind of a facet of our identity, so just one small part. It's something that we identify with over time, that we come to identify with over time. And what's really interesting about mood is it's directly affected by music and by the sounds that we hear. And just to define music in a simple way, music is simply, I see it as simply intentional sound. So we can think of, right now it's pretty windy outside, I'm hearing there's the AC going off, and there's some birds chirping outside. The wind's going pretty strong. Divine confirmation here that we're doing it just what we should be. But what differs music from sound is that it's an intentional sound. I like that definition, that it's just intentional sound, because music can be so many different things. We don't typically think of nature sounds as music, but it really is, just as much as a song on the radio is music. So that's the definition of mood music for me. So mood, again, an emotional state of mind or feeling, dominant attitude or spirit. Music is intentional sound. And so the goal here today is I want to share with you some musical tools to effectively move through your moods. And we're going to do that through three different ways, through three different musical methods. So the first one is going to be through musical creation, musical consuming music, and then also music collaboration. And so the first part of that, music creation. So the first thing I wanted to share, this might be pretty obvious, but just writing a song is a really good way to move through a mood, and to move through a feeling, so that we can choose what mood we want to take on, because again, it's a dominant attitude or spirit. So you really want to be intentional with the spirit that you're bringing through the world and the dominant attitude that you have, because this is going to directly affect what you can do in your life and how people see you, how you see yourself. So the first one, writing a song. And you can think of this if you've ever watched the show, what is it called? Issa Rae. I'm going to think of it. It's on HBO. I'm going to put it here because I can't think of the name of it. Insecure. It came to me. Insecure. And in this show, maybe I can put a clip here. She's rapping all the time, especially in the first season. She's standing in the mirror, and this is kind of how we see the character develop, is through her rapping. And the reason this is because music is directly affected, mood is directly affected by the music that we make, okay? Music, the way that it's interpreted through the brain is through the frontal lobe. And in the frontal lobe, that's where we define language, That's where feelings come about, and that's how we end up seeing ourselves, is through our frontal lobe. That's where we create our sense of self, really. And so again, music is processed through that frontal lobe. So what I'm trying to say here ultimately is that the music that we make directly affects how we see ourselves, how we see others, and how we move through the world. And so you'll notice, if I can put a clip here, you'll notice she's kind of empowering herself. She'll make up these like silly raps, and we may, as the audience, see them as silly, but to her, it's really a progression of the character. So she starts off like with these silly raps, just kind of going through the moods. Like, this is how she's working through her feelings, and we can do the very same thing. It doesn't have to be. What I want you guys to really understand here through March Music Collective is that everybody is musical. So we all have the ability to write songs. We all have the ability to sing little songs here and there. And I'll go more into depth on like how to write a song, how to create a song. It's much simpler than you may think. So that's one way through creating that we can kind of move through our moods and move through our feelings. Another way is simply just vocalizing, so humming, singing, or chanting. And you can, again, make up your own little melody, or you can sing something that is soothing to you. This is a really good way to move through a mood if you're feeling kind of like sad in a way. Some of those really hard feelings, this can be a really good way to soothe yourself. Humming soothes the nervous system directly. So whenever we're humming and vocalizing internally, it's soothing our insides. So this is a really good way to move through a mood, in my opinion. Another one is writing poetry or lyrics. Obviously, many songs that we think of have lyrics to them. So simply just writing a sequence of words. It doesn't have to be like a long poem. It doesn't have to be rhyming at all. But just getting your feelings out that way is a really good way to move through a mood. Playing an instrument is another good way of moving through a mood because it's a physical sensation. And when we're feeling really intense, hard feelings, it's really good to get some physical sensation. Another way is like bilateral stimulation, so doing like a butterfly tapping. Okay. And with that, the next point I have is making beats, as well as like creating frequency music, but that's more, I think you would have to go more in depth into that. There's simple videos on YouTube. I can link some in the description below that are like 5 minutes long on how to make your own frequency music. Or you can, and this is going into the next point of consuming, you can simply just look one up on YouTube. This is a really good way to move through a mood and to feel some sense of community as well. Is just by grounding through frequency music. And there's many different frequencies. It's too many to list here in one short video. But just simply looking up this frequency, like there's like 999 frequency, angelic frequency, if you need some grounding in a spiritual way. There's also like root grounding. I think it's middle C is the root chakra, is connected to the root chakra. So that's one way to consume music in order to stabilize your mood. Okay. Another way is, this is going to be kind of two sides here. Music that matches your mood, which allows us to feel our feelings, and also music that opposes your mood, which allows you to transmute or to shift moods. So you want to kind of think about this. You want to be thoughtful about this for yourself and think about this for how this would work for your own self. And you can kind of experiment with that in your own life. I've struggled with depression throughout my life, and I learned that if I'm listening to sad music all the time, because it was really soothing to me at the time because I felt deeply sad. So I would listen to this really just depressing music. I don't know another way to put it. It was just depressing. Like I listen to that stuff now and I'm like, I literally do not identify with this at all. But at the time I really did. And there's really no problem with that, except for the fact that listening to that music on repeat actually kept me in that cycle of sadness. It kept me in this timeline loop, right? Where I'm like looping these feelings over and over again. And so if you find yourself in that situation, I would recommend choosing music in that case that opposes your mood. And it's like you can go back and forth with this. It's not so what's the word I'm looking for here? It's not so particular, okay? So another way through consuming music that we can kind of move through our moods or feel our feelings more is to listen to music that aligns with you or music that you really enjoy. And when I think of this point, I'm thinking mostly of like music from childhood maybe that you associate with a positive memory. That's a really good way to ground yourself. Have you ever listened to a song that maybe you think of a person, or maybe you like had a really good experience performing this song? I don't know, but it is associated with a positive memory, and as soon as it comes on, you feel these warm feelings inside. You feel really grounded, and it's again because music is it's processed through that frontal lobe, right? Where we create memories. It's really interesting. So yeah, I would recommend listening to music that aligns with you, that is grounding for you. That's a really good way to feel grounded in our moods. And when we feel grounded, then we have better ability to choose our next mood, where we want to go from there. Okay, and then one last point for consuming music would be to attune your ears to the natural or organic sounds in your environment. Now, of course, this is a point for if it's like a positive environment for you, if you you kind of have to feel grounded to a point already. So I would recommend doing some breath work. This is a good point for if you're doing some semblance of the grounding technique 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you're looking for, I'm not going to get this perfectly right here, so forgive me, but it's like 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can taste, and 1 thing you can see. I don't know, something. So part of that is attuning your ears to the natural and organic sounds around you. So let's say I'm feeling really frustrated at this moment. I'm going to come outside. I'm going to sit down on this ground. I'm going to ground myself literally on the ground. And then I'm going to pause. And I'm just going to hear the natural sounds around me. Maybe there's some bird song. Maybe there's that really loud AC. But I'm just going to tune my ears without judgment, without, any thought to it. It's actually a really natural process for our bodies. All right. So the last point, like I said, this is threefold. So we have, again, to review, we started with music creation and we moved to consuming music. And the last point is collaborating. So this first point for collaboration, this is really fun, is dance. Okay, so you can make up your own silly dance. Put on a really fun song and dance along to it. Have a dance party in your room. This is a really excellent way of moving through your moods because it's, again, that somatic experience like I was talking about before with the bilateral stimulation. If you're trying to make beats, you can make beats on your body somehow, make some rhythms. So one way is just really just having a dance party, like literally just making silly moves around. It's going to ground your body, and it's going to connect your mind and your body together. Okay, the next one I have is remix. Okay, so if you're listening to a song you're really familiar with, this is good for like musicians that have been making music for many years or very beginners as well. So you're going to listen to a song that you're familiar with, and you're going to add some notes to it. Add some notes to the melody. Add a harmony. Maybe drum a beat on your body, okay? And I can make a video about that too if you're interested in kind of how to, remix a song, if you're interested in that. Okay, the next point is EMF tapping. So if you're not familiar with EMF tapping, I'll link a video down below because this is a really important somatic exercise to have in your vocabulary. Okay, like you want to have this down. This is like one of the best ones in my opinion that I've had experience with in my personal life. And one way we can do this with music is putting on something that has really positive vibrations. So I'm thinking something close to like gospel music maybe, or again something that you just have a positive memory associated with it, and you're just gonna tap. So EMF tapping, I'm not well versed, like I'm not like I couldn't teach it, I wouldn't be comfortable like teaching it, but you will see through the video down below if you're interested. And it's simply just tapping on your body at certain points, okay? And you're gonna tap to the beat of the music, right? And that's a good way to ground. It's again that bilateral stimulation, just stimulating both parts of the body, both sides. And that's a really good way to ground in our moods. Okay, the next one for collaborating. And what I mean by collaborating is you're not making the music, you're not consuming the music, you are moving with the music. You're collaborating with the music, okay? So the next one is walking or running. Just any form of exercise. Something I've been really getting into, I've been doing yoga for a really long time. And I do still find it hard, I will admit. I find it hard sometimes to make my own asana, so like my own like set of poses. I love watching videos and like following the video, so that's kind of still a struggle for me. But one way I've been able to kind of do that is put on some music that again is associated with a positive memory, or something that just makes me feel good, or I even just put on like a frequency again, and I will just do the poses that my body feels like it needs to do. And so you can do the same thing with simply just walking or running to some music that you like. That's a really good way to move through the moods, okay? Because when we talk about mood and feeling, we're really talking about energy. And energy is currency. So when you're exercising, you are moving that energy around, okay? So you will not feel the same way like before a walk as after a walk. You will not feel the same way before a yoga session as after, okay? And the music is just a really helpful way to kind of get out of our heads, so we can like listen to it on headphones or on our speaker. Like, don't feel nervous about having your phone out if you don't have headphones. Like, bring your phone with you, bring your iPod, I don't know, like, but just do what you need to do, right, to move through that mood. And the last one, this is something that I'm just dreaming up and wishing for everybody. I really would love for you guys to get a group together and make some music. And I want to talk about this one a little bit more in depth because you're not crazy. There have been literal systems put in place to keep you... Okay, the AC's off. I've been yelling. Let me just stretch a bit here. Oh, this guy's so beautiful. So there have been literal systems put into place to keep you from creating, to keep you from making music, okay? And I mean, I can name a few, but the one that really comes to mind for me is the fact that people are made to believe that they need to be musicians to make music. They need to have a set of lessons. They need to go through a set of lessons in order to make music. And that's complete bullshit. Excuse my French. I'm angry about that because music... Oh my God. A butterfly just... I'm reverencing this moment right now. This butterfly just stopped right like on the chair. It's just chilling too. Wow, my breath is taken away. Oh, and it's like vibrating its little wings. And see, it's like, that's music. Okay, so what I'm saying is that music is literally inherent to being a human being. When we are born musical. Nobody is not born musical, right? I mean, there's so many instances of this, but the first one is like when we cry when we're born. We literally are born making music, and we go through our lives making music, whether or not we sing again, okay? Like, just our speaking voice is musical. Nobody speaks with a simple, like, monotone voice. Like, there's some people that have more monotone voices than others, but there's always a pitch variation. So that's musical, right? The sound of your voice heals people. People get excited when they hear your voice. People feel grounded when they hear your voice. That's musical. That's what music does. So you can't really argue that someone's not musical. That doesn't even really make sense. That doesn't even make sense. Like, we all, if you're watching this video, okay? If you're watching this video, you have a heartbeat. What is a heartbeat? It's a rhythm that keeps going from the time we're born till the time we die. Everybody has that. Nobody doesn't have that. If you don't have that, you're dead, okay? So I'm just saying all of this to say I would love for you guys to just get together with someone and make some music, right? It's great to make it on your own. That's great. But I think there just needs to be more of an emphasis on group music making. Obviously in a way that's comfortable, in a way that's safe, in a way that is empowering. But there's no reason you can't, like, get together with your friends and just, diddle a little bit on the piano, chant a little bit together. Like, it doesn't have to be with instruments. That's another way I feel like people have been kind of prevented from making music, is they've been made to feel that they need a whole production in order to be like a perfect performance, in order to be actually musical. Like, there has to be like they need a microphone, they need like instruments, they need backup, no. I mean, that sometimes, sure, that's great when it can happen, but the fact that so many people like don't make music because of that is so wrong. And from all of these points that I've laid out today, I just hope that makes sense to you, that like you are really musical just the way that you are. You don't need to learn anything new. It's great if you want to. There's many resources. There's free resources. You don't have to pay anybody. You don't need a teacher, okay? You can start making your music today. And you never know what the music that you make today can do for tomorrow. So that's really all I had for today. I just wanted to share with you some points on how to shift your mood and how to create moods when you're making your own music, when you're just experiencing music, and again, just, when you're collaborating with life. So let me know if this resonated with you. Leave a comment down below. Do you believe that you're musical? Let me know. I'd really love to know, and I'd love to grow this community, and just I'm just, like I said, just trying to spread musical joy, and I just really want people to know that they are musical just the way that they are. So let me know in the comments below if you think you're musical, and if not, let me know why, so I can make a video to tell you that you are. Like and share this video. If this resonates with you, please subscribe so I can keep making more videos and sharing musical joy with you. It's a pleasure to be with you this evening. I love you so much. Thank you for watching. As always, take care, and I'll see you next time. March to the beat of your heart. Bye. What is it called? Issa Rae. I'm gonna think of it. It's on HBO. I'm gonna put it here because I can't think of